Hey, welcome to Arm Pitching Development. I'm Coach Jason. Amplify your mechanics and grow your pitching knowledge by hitting the subscribe button. So tonight we're going to cover how to add 3 to 5 miles per hour on your fastball by making some simple mechanical adjustments you might not know about. So the first one I want to talk to you guys about is your load point, or going through your load and how to start generating energy off your load, which if in terms of coming to a balanced set point, when you're wanting to generate energy going forward, you want to start that a little bit earlier in your delivery. I do want to make one thing clear, that I don't build pitchers this way. Usually I'll build them a little more upright and erect and out, versus trying to show them a more advanced material that they can't control or handle. If you're interested in learning more about our mechanic basics and building foundations, please stay tuned till the end and I'll have that video show up for you. So coming back to our load point, okay, so capitalize number one. A lot of guys, when you come up and we talk about static load points here, what you want to do is start to generate your kinetic energy going forward towards home plate. And the way I do that is when I draw up my load, I start to drive my hip forward as I'm coming up. So up, and I start to drive out. Okay, so that's one quick fix that you might be able to implement that'll help you generate 3 to 5 miles an hour in your velocity. So the next one I want to talk to you guys about is the open rotation and staying closed in the hips just a little bit longer. And I know everybody's terminology is a little bit different. When I say closed, I mean driving the hips forward here and keeping my separation of my shoulders back over my back leg as long as I can upon my landing point on my front leg. Okay, so as I'm coming off and I lead in and I generate my momentum going forward, I land and have good hip shoulder separation here, staying back over my back leg a little bit better, and then allowing the rotation of my hips to speed my arm through. I see a lot of closed off mechanics at younger ages. And what I mean by that is when they land, they'll land with the front toe locked in like this, okay? What that causes is an overload of the left hip flexor and buckle of the left shoulder here, and it promotes arm drag, okay? So if you've ever seen somebody throw the ball from this angle, know that it's not coming out quite efficient as you'll want it to be. So the way you'll fix that is the element of time as it presents itself throughout the mechanics is staying back over your back leg a little bit longer, allowing yourself to clear the hips going forward a little bit better. Another velocity advantage here is to drive from the quad up and out. So as you go into to throw the ball to home plate, drive through the quad into pivot position, okay? A lot of guys will leak that energy down the mound versus staying up and through going towards home plate. That's a velocity loss, okay? So if you're coming into pivot position early here, what you're doing is taking your kinetic energy and shutting it down to the ground or into the mound. We want to keep the chain running up and out through the arm, and when you land on your pivot step or your break step here, that forces the energy to go forward. That's another point for you on how to add 3 to 5 miles per hour to your fastball is on the front side leg block. A lot of guys will stay here and they'll collapse their chest forward over their front leg. What I'd like to do is present my chest back behind my front leg, block the hip back up as best you can, and then stay behind the ball a little bit longer, getting it out front of your front foot. And then from that point, you'll pull down and you'll get a little bit more life on that fastball that you might not be getting already. So in terms of adding 3 to 5 miles per hour, I want to go over one more point with you. And it has to do with the open rotation of the hips. Okay, so a lot of younger guys that I train, when they first come to me, they'll open the knee or the hips and the chest line at the same time, okay? And so this is a velocity loss. What you want to do is try to stay here, back over, again, going back over that point, staying back over the back leg a little bit longer, allowing time to clear. As fast as you can rotate your hips through will add velocity to your pitch, okay? So if you're spinning your hips at 6 miles an hour, you're probably an 80-mile-an-hour guy. If you're 4 miles an hour, you're probably somewhere in the 70 range. And on up from there, if you're 8 miles an hour, you're probably 90-mile-an-hour arm, okay? So there's just a couple examples that are fixes that you guys can do mechanically to add 3 to 5 miles per hour to your pitch, and you don't need to do anything else with it.